Hi. Oh, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. Hi, guys. Um, Many of you have followed me on Facebook for at least 9 years. Some of you have known me probably for 14 years, and some of you even longer. Most of you know me as a missionary who's moved to Africa. I don't know how you know me. Maybe obviously not someone who normally wears makeup. I just put that on for this video because I thought the video would be hard enough if I were looking like I just normally look every day. So yes, I'm rambling because this video is very hard for me to make. Many of you have an idea of who you think I am, and I am basically trying to be vulnerable here. In fact, I pride myself in including you in my life and showing you all of the ins and outs and keeping you up to date of all things happening on the Shire. I try to be as human and as real as possible, but a lot of stuff has been going on for a long time that I haven't shared with you, and those things are sort of bubbling around inside of me to a point where I feel as if I need to come out and just tell you what's going on. So, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for the time that you've given me, and also for supporting Johnny and me here in Kenya over the last 14 years. Even if you joined us later on in the journey, thank you for believing in us. Thank you for following us, or at least finding some aspect of my life interesting. It has been a great run. We have done so much here in Kenya, from rescuing orphans and looking after them as our own kids for the last 11 years, spreading the passion and desire of helping people in need, as well as doing it ourselves and bringing aid to people in the communities, educating women about their bodies, distributing menstrual cups, teaching about the environment and the importance of preserving it, buying and land off grid with your help, and doing a crowdsource fundraiser. That was amazing. So many crowdsource fundraisers that you have supported and helped us achieve all the goals that we set out to accomplish, and we couldn't have done this journey without you. So thank you so much. I feel like, most of you see me as a very joyful person, and I am. But for the last, forever, forever, there's always been a piece of me that has been hidden. So, let me just explain a little bit about my story. I'm sorry to be rambling, it's just not an easy thing to do. You might know, many of you might know from my history, Johnny and I, how we got married. We got married when I was 19, very young. And basically, I was a fanatical Christian when I was a teenager. I'm the kind of person who really wants to give my all. I don't do things by halves, and I want to do what is right. And that is what was right in my culture at the time. This is what you are, this is what you should be. And I did that, and I gave my all. I surrendered everything that I knew to Christ. I ended up getting into the type of church that, basically expects you to surrender all. And I did. I wanted to be a single missionary. I wanted to save the world for Jesus. And that's who I was when I was 14, 15, 16. And I can remember our youth pastor basically, I wanted to be a single missionary, showing me Johnny and saying, he's equally yoked to you, etc. I wasn't really into guys. I just was focused on Jesus. And I can remember that constant, he's a prayer warrior, these seeds of this person is equally yoked to you. And I eventually can remember feeling as if I heard God tell me that I should marry Johnny. And I argued with that voice. I argued with that voice with all of my being, why it was wrong and I didn't want to marry him. And ultimately, I knew I couldn't win because I believed it was God speaking to me. And I don't, in retrospect, know if it was God speaking to me. I think it was my own thoughts that were subconsciously planted there. But the good thing is Johnny was a good guy. And so, but I just set it on a back corner, and one day while he was at Bible college, he wrote me a letter. I didn't really know him, by the way. He wrote me a letter saying, I've fallen in love with you. And I knew immediately that meant marriage. I thought, whoa, I didn't feel attractive at all. I didn't feel like anyone would fancy me. I did not think I didn't even like the idea of anyone wanting me. And so I can remember him writing, I've fallen in love with you and I know this changes everything. And I wrote back, so saying, and then he asked me, how do you feel about that? And I wrote back saying, my feelings are the same. And I had no feelings. And I can remember the sick feeling in my gut going, God, you better give me feelings. You better give me feelings, because I know this is what you want from me, but I don't feel it. I don't feel it. And, sorry, this story is really hard to tell. It's a lot longer, of so many different aspects and angles, but I'm just going to cut to the chase. After letters, him proposing to me in a letter and me saying yes, through a phone call to the school. I never said yes directly, but to the school. We got married, and I can remember walking down the aisle just pretty scared, marrying a stranger whom I kind of knew, but based on the idea that God gave him to me. And for 24 years, I've tried to be the wife that he needed. And for 24 years, I have suppressed the fact that I'm gay. And I don't know if I can keep that a secret anymore, which is why we're having this conversation right now. Johnny was a great guy, and he knows. He has probably assumed, I mean, honestly, it hasn't been easy for me or him, I guess. I mean, I don't know. You can ask him yourself, I guess. So we are getting a divorce, and right now we are amicable. We are working together on our project, but we are not in the same bed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for letting you down, and for keeping this a secret, and for not being myself. I'm sorry. But, sorry. And I know that many of you are going to be angry with me. You're going to judge me. You can do whatever you want to do, but this isn't like a new thing or a fad or a midlife crisis. This is something that has been in me since I was born. You can ask my biological mother. I can remember when I got married, her saying to a cousin or something, oh, at least she's not gay. Because she worried if I was as a kid. It's not something new. And thank you for maybe sticking around and not hating me. So I'm just saying, please, I needed you to know so that I could stop being silenced by my own fear. And then I felt chained and shackled by the fact that my whole life is based on donations, and that I have this image as a missionary. And if anyone knew that I was really, really, really a lesbian, then you wouldn't like me, or you wouldn't believe in me or my project or all this good stuff that I have managed to do, even though I'm gay. And yeah, so I know a lot of you are gonna have your opinions about this, and go ahead, have your opinions, but just know that I have kept myself silenced and quiet for so long, and I can't do that. My whole life has revolved around this one thing and has kept me basically, kept me from being happy, actually, being free, because I couldn't say anything. I couldn't tell anyone, and I'm at a point now where, maybe this is the midlife crisis part, where I know I'm gonna lose a lot of supporters, and that's okay, but I gotta still feed my kids, yeah. So there you go. And that's what's